Hello everyone and welcome to our channel, and today I'll be reading a multi-character listener by me. So let's get into it. Midoriya Izuku. He never really heard you sing before. And though he'd heard your friend, your very best friend, say that you have a very good voice, he never got the chance to hear it. And though he wanted to for a very long time, he never really dared to ask, since he thought you would only sing if you felt comfortable, and he didn't want to pressure you. Maybe you were shy, maybe you just didn't want to, but either way, it was not his position to ask. And even when he became your boyfriend, he still felt a little bit nervous to ask this. He never expected to walk in on you singing one day, and to hear your voice, and for it to be this amazing. Midoriya really was polite most of the time, and if he walked in on something he wasn't meant to see, he would immediately get out and go away. But he just couldn't. He loved you a lot, and there was a lot that he wanted to do with you. A lot that he wanted to see. And being able to see you sing like this, it made him feel like he's alive, like his heart was about to sing along with you. And he wasn't even into singing that much. But what could he do? He loved you, and you looked wonderful doing it. And as you were singing, you turned around and saw him, and immediately went quiet, blushing brightly. How long were you standing here? Long enough to hear you for a while, he says, blushing and nervous, not sure if this was right, but you're not really mad at him. And he's happy with that at least. He leans forward and gives you a soft kiss on the cheek. I'd love to hear you sing again, Wyan. You don't have to, and even if you won't, you don't have to right now. But I'm just glad I heard you. I wanted to hear you for a long time. He says shyly, but you're happy to hear those words from him. It makes all of your insecurities about your singing go away, because Midoriya truly loves to hear you sing. Todoroki Shoto. Todoroki is an absolute sweetheart. And he listens to a lot of music and songs. He doesn't seem like the person to, but he actually loves to plug in his earphones while he's studying and hear something. You're quite surprised by this knowledge, but ever since you got away from his father's home, he'd been getting into it, and he finds it quite nice, relaxing as well, from his own thoughts and the distractions outside the bubble he creates by doing so. But he never expected he would hear you, his girlfriend, sing. He didn't know you loved singing, or that you were good at it. In fact, he just completely avoided saying anything about it. And he just happened to walk in upon you singing one day. He was utterly entranced. It was like you were a siren, and he had simply fallen as prey. And he could do nothing but stare, until he eventually caught him in the act. Oh, so you were standing here. I'm assuming you've been so for a while? You say shyly, blushing, and he smiles as he nods. And you decide to push the boundaries of your luck and ask him what he thought of your singing, and you were quite surprised by his response. He was smiling, walking over to you, and wrapping his arms around you. You sing so well, my dear. It's like you're a princess, he says, blushing a little bit, making your heart stutter, as you wrapped your arms right back around him. Well, you have such a way with words, Shoto. I wouldn't say so, but thank you, Ayan. You smiled at that, stroking his hair gently, and you begin to sing to him more often, especially because he asks. He wants to hear you again. He's obsessed with the sound of your voice. how familiar it is, and how comforting it can be. It's a mix you can't find easily, and it's all the better that all the words and singing come out right from you and no one else. Bakugou. Now, Katsuki was not into music really. Well, he was, but he would never admit it in front of anyone. He played the drums after all. But he never actually thought that he could, well, open up about his liking of music and some of his obsessions with anyone. He's a little bit too shy for that, and it was simply a lot of vulnerability to ask of him. You understood, but it was still weird to see at times. And he never really expected to become a fan of his own girlfriend. But when she walked on upon you, to see you singing, perhaps those thoughts would change, because you are amazing. He couldn't really put it into words. The way you sung so well, and the way you could make anyone's heart dance along to your words. But he felt like he was floating as he heard you. And most importantly, he wanted to hold you then, wrap you in his arms, kiss you, and show you all the love that he deserved. But he didn't say a word, because he knew if he did, if he made one move and got noticed, you would immediately stop your singing. It was not an outcome he wanted anytime soon. He knew what would happen eventually, but he could at least listen to you while he could. And eventually you caught on, turning towards him as you sang. And you found him there. Blushing, you grabbed the pillow and flung it at him. "You're such a creep sometimes," you say, scolding him lightly. He chuckles, catching the pillow and putting it down, walking over to you and wrapping his arms gently around your waist. "You sing so wonderfully, Wyan. Why were you hiding that from me?" "I wasn't hiding it." "You kind of were." "Well, maybe, but I was planning to sing in front of you just later." And though he may not have a justification for this, he knew you were shy at times. And just as he had difficulties with showing some parts of him, he could understand you. Not everything could be logical. As much as you loved him and trusted him, some things would just take more time. But he was glad that this bit of information that mattered so much was revealed a little bit earlier than it was meant to be. And he was surely going to take full advantage of that knowledge.